Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, spirit, source, and symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we are coming off of Uranus just moving into Gemini. It will be there until 2033, I believe. That occurred on the 25th, 26th of April. Coming up on Friday, May 1st, we have the full moon in Scorpio that is occurring on, pardon me, on May Day. And we also have a Mercury conjunct Chiron. So there's a lot of healing that's taking place. There's a lot of revolutionary energy occurring, happening. We're going to jump into it. Welcome, Alicia. So let's take a look at the main energies. We have youthful folly, try again. We have abyss, relinquish. Welcome, Colleen. We have the creative, initiate. Innocence, open. And army and legions, correct discipline. All of this is saying it's about trying over. It's through innocence and the creative force that we try again, that we don't become jaded by our experiences. And that with army and legions and correct discipline, we have everything we need. And that it's really about relinquishing the abyss, the past, and the abyss can be anything like, monkey mind and chatter and all these things that keep us stuck, blocked, not moving forward. So I want to move to the astrological energies really quickly. And this is the horary chart for the full moon in Scorpio that is coming up again on May Day, May 1st, this Friday. And intuitively, the first thing that came to mind, what I heard from the unseen was Asperger syndrome, which I thought was very strange. Like, okay. But then also followed by that, they said a direct connection to the divine. So we have Asperger syndrome and a direct connection to the divine. And so the spiritual meaning of Asperger syndrome or autism level 1 is often interpreted as a unique, refined connection to consciousness, characterized by heightened intuition, deep introspection, and a natural affinity for mystical or conversely highly logical, scientific, and anti-dogmatic perspectives. It's about another realm of existence and one that is pure, quite pure, highly connected. And so it is seen by many as a distinct way of perceiving existence, a spiritual evolution. It's seen through what's on the surface. The unseen is saying it's being untouched by it. So there's a deep purity here about this. This spiritual evolution that allows for profound, unique connections to the divine or one infinite creator, often described as an unconscious transmission of unity, oneness, an unconscious transmission of unity, oneness. There's a oneness aspect here. So Uranus is now in Gemini, full moon in Scorpio, and full moons, they reveal what's been hidden. And so they bring things to light, to life. So there's a distinct perception in truth. Individuals may have an innate drive towards seeking deeper truths, a heightened sense of justice, and an ability to perceive realities beyond the superficial. It's alternative spirituality. Many on the spectrum find traditional dogmatic religion to be confusing or illogical, leading to a personal, lived spirituality rather than one based on dogma. So there's a divine connection here, a direct connection that this is speaking to, that the unseen is waking us up to. We need not be, quote unquote, on the spectrum, Asperger syndrome, to have the same purity of connection that they do. We can look beyond the surface to what's below, what's within. It's all choice. Some perspectives suggest that the neurodivergent experience allows individuals to interact with and interpret energetic impressions from their environment and others in unique ways. They can see beyond the veil. They can see beyond the surface. They can see what's unseen by others or by the general population. It's a coming home to self. An autism diagnosis can represent a spiritual, validating experience, a coming home, allowing for self-acceptance, the letting go of neurotypical expectations, and the embrace of one's own way of being in the world. You'll see here that it's about perspective. So again, the general populace may look and say that that we're normal and neurodivergence isn't. And one would argue what the unseen is saying here, and we'll get deeper into this, says who? It's how we see things. It's how we embrace. It's how we're afforded the same connectivity, purity. And yet the depth of the veil for the air quotes general populace may be heavier, thicker than it is for those on the spectrum. And lastly, so it's a way of letting go of these expectations and embracing one's way of being in the world. It is often associated with a strong sense of personal mission, a need for honesty, and an ability to contribute to humanity through unique, often intense focus. All of this applies to every single living soul on the planet. It's simply that some are more connected, some have less of a veil, some have greater purity in the instant, all of which is available to all of us. It's choice. And pardon me, and then a direct connection to the divine. And so a direct connection to the divine is a profound spiritual alignment, transcending the mind, intellectual understanding, to offer personal, experiential communion with a higher power, source, or universal energy. It represents a transformative, non-random, and often orchestrated relationship that unlocks purpose, deep inner peace, and unconditional love. Purpose, peace, love. You're going to hear these words in this episode. It is an inward journey to the soul and higher self rather than an external pursuit. This is going inside and doing the work, soul source connection, connecting. It involves maintaining awareness and communication with the divine presence, often through meditation, prayer, or mindfulness, which moves one beyond the limitations of the ego and the mind. This is about, are we listening? We look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. That's about active communion. This being aware and connected, constantly in communication with your soul source connection, your soul, the divine, the unseen, and moving beyond the limitations of the ego and the mind. This connection aligns individuals with their destiny, providing guidance, wisdom, and the ability to co-create rather than just passively receive. So this is about aligning with what our soul came to do, with our divine purpose. It is characterized by feeling deeply loved and recognizing that love, fostering a sense of unity with all existence. This is, the profound statement of we are all one. Mother Earth, 8 billion souls, it's all one beautiful entity that is, and we are each a fractal of it. And how each individual fractal, unique in its own creation and self and experience, combines in this beautiful tapestry to create the whole of the whole. So we have this Asperger syndrome, a direct connection to the divine. That is what the unseen is speaking about with this full moon in Scorpio, the Mercury conjunct Chiron, because Mercury, how we think, speak, communicate, CHIRON, wounded healer, how we heal. And it is through this connection of the divine, recognizing it within us, moving beyond the surface, the shadow, to connect in a way that others are deeply connected, and to see the beauty in that connectivity. Because right now we don't do that. There's a judgment, there's a superficial stopping at the surface that many prevent themselves from seeing what's beyond, quote unquote, normal, ordinary, normal, or the general population. So now let's move. We're going to go into, well, we're going to go to astrologer. So I want to back up. We had talked in last week's show about continuing with Uranus in Gemini. And I just want to quickly go to astrologer Juliana McCarthy from etherealculture.com. Uranus enters Gemini. It's time for electric change. Uranus returns to Gemini on the 25th, 26th of April, depending on where you are, completing an ingress that began last year. In July of 2025, Uranus dipped into Gemini for 3 months, then retrograded back to Taurus. Now it will remain in Gemini through 2033. This is one of the most significant transits of our lifetime. Uranus is the great liberator, the great awakener, the planet that disrupts what has grown rigid and obsolete, offering breakthroughs and ruptures that shock us awake. Gemini is the sign of the mind, language, ideas, and conversation. Joined together, the entire landscape of information and communication is ready to be electrified. For the next 7 years, we'll undergo significant bell curves of change and reinvention. We can look to history to understand the magnitude of what's to come. Remember, astrology is cyclical, not identical. So we can look to the past, to history, to understand the magnitude of what's to come. In previous eras of Uranus and Gemini, the atomic bomb was developed, and we experienced the American Civil and Revolutionary Wars. Each of these periods also coincided with extraordinary leaps in communication and technology, and they carried both tremendous possibility and upheaval. But the same revolutionary energy that precipitated war and large-scale weapons of destruction can be directed towards something else entirely. Uranus is unpredictable, and it's impossible to say what will come. Luckily, the other outer planets are aspecting Uranus, which makes this transit more hopeful, rare, and all-encompassing. Reality itself is ready to change. Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune are forming a potent triangle that is finally picking up speed. We are not meant to continue with the current paradigm as it is. We've talked a lot about this is not ordinary, everyday, garden variety astrology, cyclical astrology. Harking back to astrologer Rick Levine and that caterpillar to the butterfly and how that is metamorphosis. That is not the leaves falling off the tree, hibernating, coming back out, reblooming. That's cyclical ordinaryism. This is not that. And so we're not meant to continue with the current paradigm as it is. Truth is revealing itself, and systems and structures are collapsing to be reborn. You'll see that here in a minute. It's literally, well, I'm just going to go to it quickly. So we are not meant to continue with the current paradigm as it is. Truth is revealing itself, and systems and structures are collapsing to be reborn. Number 2 from the unseen is, they said, revolutionary guard. The old guard steps down, makes way for the new. Revolutionary guards are known, they're guardians and watchmen of divine will on earth. And the unseen has shown me, I'm going to bring up this image. It is of they're known as the terracotta warriors. And I'm going to come back to Juliana McCarthy, but the terracotta warriors. So what the unseen has been showing me is this image that resembles these terracotta warriors. And they've shown them to me in particular locations throughout the world, and how they stand in the round. They form a circle, if you will, slotted, and very heavy divine masculine energy, almost to the point of being very, not confrontational, but an aggressive energy, a very dominant masculine energy. And what they were showing is that energy for the time, the era, this Piscean patriarchal era, was necessary. It both protected and grounded and held in place particular energies, structures, codes, things of this nature that are air quotes invisible to us, to the human eye. And with great reverence, this is important, with great reverence, because again, there's a demonization going on of the patriarchal Piscean, divine masculine 2000 plus years era. And in some ways, yes, rightfully so. However, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so there, with great reverence, it's to respect what was. It doesn't mean that we condone things, but there's a reverence, there's a respect for the divine masculine, the purity of it, for the protection of it, for the energy and the force of it. And when we then recognize the purity of that, no matter how corrupted it became, what we're honoring and revering is the purity of it, so that this transition happens with grace, with ease, with respect and reverence. It doesn't mean to demonize, because then we just become what we're releasing. There's that abyss, that decay in the abyss. It's to relinquish that. And what the unseen is showing is that these terracotta warriors, this energy, this force field, this energy has provided its service, has fulfilled its purpose. We're up-leveling, we're changing, and thereby they will relinquish. Revolutionary Guard, the old guard steps down, makes way for the new. These guardians and watchmen of divine will on earth. And they will be replaced by, the image is of divine feminine. So one could say it's very mystical, magical, like Scotland, the fairy realm and so forth. But and then they're using the word angels. So it's a divine feminine, angelic energy and force that will come in, up-level, uplift, and hold that energy in that space. And the terracotta warriors are a massive collection of thousands of life-sized, unique clay soldiers, horses, and chariots buried near Xi'an, China, around 210 BCE to protect the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, in the afterlife. Discovered in 1974, this UNESCO World Heritage Site features figures with distinct, individualized features, originally brightly painted and armed with real bronze weapons. So they were lifelike, they were armed, but their purpose, here's their purpose. These terracotta warriors, their purpose was to protect the first emperor in the afterlife. Well, we're talking about here the same thing, guardians and watchmen of divine will on earth. And Revolutionary Guard, because this is also, there's a very famous Revolutionary Guard that is part of Iran. The spiritual meaning of a Revolutionary Guard in a biblical context is often interpreted through the concepts of divine protection, spiritual warfare, and the, quote, changing of the guard or transition in spiritual seasons. This is a massive transformation, a transition in spiritual seasons, spiritual energies, patriarchal to matriarchal, Piscean to Aquarian. While the modern Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is a political entity, some commentators associate the region of Persia, Iran, with biblical prophecies concerning the end times and spiritual warfare against God's people. The royal guard in the Bible symbolizes God's unwavering protection over his people. They represent the vigilant watch of God, contrasting with the human guards who protected earthly kings. Some interpretations focus on the four living creatures around God's throne, the lion, the man, the ox, the eagle, as spiritual bodyguards that represent different aspects of the divine's response to the devil's tactics. Proverbs 4:23 refers to guarding your heart. This is seen as a spiritual responsibility to watch, preserve, and protect one's inner life from corruption. And so again, individual, collective, as above, so below. There is a changing of the guard, this revolutionary guard, and the guardians in this spiritual season is changing. There's so much here that is changing, and it is a spiritual transition. In prophetic terms, a changing of the guard suggests that God is moving a new team into position, shifting the spiritual atmosphere, or bringing new leaders into place to fulfill the divine purpose. It often signifies a call for believers to become more active in prayer, meditation, prayer, stillness, peace, and to move from a state of comfort into a deeper, more disciplined spiritual life. Soul source connection, going as guided. Master Jesus is often seen as a revolutionary leader who overthrew the powers of sin and death, not through political force, but through love and sacrifice. Believers are urged to be on spiritual guard duty, using the sword of the Spirit, the Word of God, to combat evil and stand firm in faith. It's about our perceptions, the words we use. The words we use matter. Mercury, communication, Mercury conjunct Chiron, the healing of how we communicate with others, but much more importantly with ourselves, because that sets the tone for how we communicate with others. Do we love ourselves? Are we practicing self-love? Are we nourishing ourselves? Are we going as guided? Are we listening? Some prophetic teachers suggest that contemporary conflicts involving nations like Iran, Persia, are linked to angelic conflicts in heavenly places, as described in the book of Daniel. So there's all of this information here that's saying Revolutionary Guard, the old guard steps down, makes way for the new. Guardians and watchmen of divine will on earth. It's about this massive transition. It's why on the world stage and those quote unquote leaders that are in place of the old guard are being replaced. Institutions, ways of being are collapsing. It's not easy. It's painful to bear witness, to go through. However, it's not unknown to us. It's not unknown to them. This is why there's such a that cleaving and clinging to a past era, a past way. And yet there's an assembly of this divine masculine energy, these terracotta warriors, these revolutionary guards. And again, they're in the round and they're being shown exiting off for the new to arrive. Now let's go back to ethereal culture, Juliana McCarthy. So it's impossible to know what will come, and there's these aspects, planets that are aspecting Uranus, and that we're not meant to continue the current paradigm. Truth is revealing itself, and systems and structures are collapsing to be reborn. The shadow of Uranus in Gemini is already visible. We are very much experiencing the weaponization of misinformation and algorithms designed to manipulate us. The speed of communication is scrambling our brains. Truth is fragmenting into isolated bubbles, and genuine dialogue has become nearly impossible. This is the energy at its most distorted. However, Gemini, in its highest expression, is the archetype of the curious child. Youthful folly, try again. So it's the archetype of the curious child. Her mind can see the perspective no one else has found. The twins are endlessly adaptable and live in a world of constant change and possibility. When Uranus moves through here, it can liberate us from rigid thinking, the resistance to changing our minds, and the certainty that closes us off from each other. It awakens our inner genius and breaks through fear of the unknown. So Uranus and Gemini, it awakens our inner genius, our inner wisdom, our divine essence, and it breaks through the fear of the unknown. Uranus and Gemini does not offer ease. This is from last week when they said, I beg your pardon, I didn't promise you a rose garden. So Uranus and Gemini does not offer ease. However, it does promise electricity that's bound to wake us up and jolt us onto a new timeline. And usually when Uranus strikes, we are very ready for what comes next. What we do with this change, whether we move forward and towards our hearts or further from them, is entirely up to us. We're witnessing this on the world stage. Are we moving closer to our hearts, to our purity, to our innocence, to our goodness, or further away from it? That's entirely up to us. However, the best use of this time is to welcome the lightning bolts of epic change, intuition, insight, and the possibility for rapid evolution. Wherever we felt the most stubborn and stuck, the planets are now powerfully helping us alchemize, liberate, and reroute. And it's to remember again, the height of the goo, the shadow, and the humans that are representing that are playing a pivotal role. In no way, shape, or form am I condoning that. However, what the unseen is bringing to our attention is that there is divinity in all of this. There is a sense that, so in other words, if this wasn't so horrible, so heightened with goo and shadow and ego, the corruption of the divine masculine, would the general population, 8 billion souls on the planet worldwide, because no one's immune, would we accelerate in advance and transition as quickly, as fast, if it were just everyday, ordinary astrology or experiences? It's because the polarities are so heightened that the scale tips, and all of a sudden the vast majority of the humans on the planet say, I want something more, something better, something pure, something good, something innocent. And that tips the scale, because the deconstruction of the past era occurs regardless, period. So it's to recognize again the divinity, the divinity in everything. We do have choice, free will and choice. Choose to be in the flow, choose to be on the good, on the side of the good, moving forward. So it's about whenever we felt the most stubborn and stuck, the planets are now powerfully helping us alchemize, liberate, and reroute. As Uranus enters Gemini, we may meet this. As Uranus enters Gemini, may we meet this accelerating world with a mind that stays open, curious, multidimensional, Asperger syndrome, a direct connection to the divine, multidimensional, and free. May we welcome change, reveling in the electric zaps that are catapulting our lives into a whole new story. This is not about staying the way we were. This is about quantum leaping forward, expanding, advancing, elevating, transcending, transmuting, healing. There's a lot here. Number one, from the unseen, to give is to receive. Altruism at its best, its finest. Free your mind. So the way to, the way through, the way to receive, to release the old and receive the new, to make this flow and be effortless, to give is to receive. Stay in the energy of giving. You can give of your time, your talent, your resources, your love, your insight. You can give in simple or profound ways. To give is to receive. Altruism at its best, its finest. How do you do it? Free your mind. Release the old baggage, the old perceptions, the fears, those things that keep you held back, so that we, and individually and collectively, elevate. It's revolutionary. It's Uranus in Gemini. So now let's move to the full moon in Scorpio 2026, Alchemizing the Past. This is by moonomens.com. On May 1st, that's coming up on Friday, a powerful full moon in Scorpio brings deep emotions to the surface. This event offers us chances to gain new insights into patterns, attachments, and dynamics that are ready to be transformed, and challenges us to alchemize the pain of our past into power and develop more emotional resilience. This is going to be, it's pressing on us to release it, not to harm us, but to release it, to recognize it and release it. May 2026 carries a rare lunar rhythm, with 2 full moons unfolding within the same calendar month. This Scorpio full moon begins a deeper process of transformation, opening a space for emotional truth, release, and inner alchemy. Later in the month, a second full moon, known as a blue moon, will rise, bringing further culmination and completion to what is initiated now. Together, these 2 lunations create an extended window of awareness and change, amplifying the intensity of this period and inviting us to move through it with presence and intention. Soul source connection, conscious awareness, choice. We are entering a month filled with dynamism and movement on both the emotional and the mental level. As May begins, the full moon in Scorpio asks us to turn inward, release what we have outgrown, and confront something previously hidden. By the time the blue full moon in a Sagittarius peaks on May 31st, we will be able to expand our perspective and access a broader understanding of the meaning of the journey we have been through during May. The Scorpio full moon is particularly significant for people with natal planets in fixed signs Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. They are more likely to experience significant turning points, breakthroughs, and realizations around this time. So again, if you have planets in your birth chart, your natal chart, in Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you're going to feel it more. It's going to be more pronounced. And these can be about significant turning points, breakthroughs, realizations. These people have the opportunity to close a chapter of their lives for good and move forward in their transformation process by letting go of something that is keeping them stuck. That thing that is keeping you stuck, it can be a thought, it can be an emotion, it can be an experience, it can be a person, a place, a thing. Well, this full moon in Scorpio, Mercury conjunct Chiron, Uranus just moving into Gemini. It's all about purifying and releasing that, transcending it, transmuting it, letting it go, so that what emerges is pure. It's the new you. It's the new us. Well, let's take a look at our main theme. And we have this beautiful May flowers. Things bloom when, where you least expect it. So Mayflowers. Specifically, Mayflowers, the lily of the valley, and hawthorn spiritually symbolize the return of happiness, new beginnings, purity, and hope. They embody the energetic shift of spring, rebirth, protection, and the promise of growth after winter, with lily of the valley representing humility and joy, while hawthorn signifies love and spiritual protection. Known for representing the return of happiness and purity, Lily of the Valley is often associated with the Virgin Mary in Christian tradition, Our Lady of Tears. It symbolizes humility and the sweetness of life. In Celtic tradition, hawthorn is linked to the fairy realm and is considered a sacred tree of protection and love. It represents hope, fertility, and resilience, serving as a protective shield against negative energy. Mayflowers generally represent the flourishing of life and the transition from the introspection of winter to the active, sunny energy of summer. In French tradition, giving lily of the valley on May 1st, May Day, is a long-standing custom for good luck. These flowers represent and reflect a season of joy, urging a return to love, the nurturing of hope, and the celebration of life's sweetness. That is what the matriarchal, divine feminine, Aquarian, we the people era is. It's a season of joy, love, nourishment, hope, celebration, life's sweetness, goodness. To give is to receive. It's altruism at its best, its finest. Free your mind. So Mayflowers, things bloom when, where you least expect it. The spiritual meaning of things blooming when and where you least expect it is a profound message of divine timing, hope, and surrender. It symbolizes that growth, miracles, and new beginnings often occur outside of our planned schedules. It's that famous quote, life happens while you're planning. Particularly in moments of uncertainty or difficulty, encouraging us to trust the universe, the unseen, your soul. Unexpected blooms are reminders that life does not need to follow a strict human-made timeline to be beautiful. This signifies that even if something feels delayed, it is likely being prepared for the perfect moment. Just because we can't see down and around the corner doesn't mean that the unseen, your soul, isn't orchestrating something amazing that happens when, where you least expect it. Just as flowers can grow in cracks in the pavement, spiritual growth often occurs during life's most difficult, dark moments. This represents resilience and finding inner strength when all seems lost. This concept serves as a nudge to let go of the need for control and to stay receptive to blessings that arrive without notice or warning. It encourages shifting from striving to allowing, trusting that the universe, the unseen, will provide what is needed. That's legions, army, correct discipline. We have everything we need. It teaches that the best things in life, such as sudden joy, unexpected opportunities, or deep personal growth, are often serendipitous. It prompts you to look for miracles in small acts and daily, ordinary moments. That can be the simplicity. To give is to receive. That can be the simple joy of a smile, a good morning, how are you? The opening of a door, the paying it forward in the line, in the drive-through. It can be so many things. It speaks to recognizing unexpected beauty. It teaches that the best things in life, such as sudden joy, unexpected opportunities, or deep personal growth, are often serendipitous. And it's an unexpected sudden bloom can symbolize a quickening of your spiritual path or the abrupt end of a stagnant period, marking a time for rejuvenation and new possibilities. The key takeaway, you are being encouraged to keep faith, stay open, and trust that your life is unfolding as it should, regardless of how, quote, out of season, end quote, things may seem. So against the world backdrop and all of this major change and the shifting and the deconstruction and the construction and all of this, it can seem out of season. Things aren't happening. We're not moving forward. We're not moving forward fast enough. And what we're to do is not override the new code, the new system. Our human, our ego, mind, personality human, knows the old way, the old code. It knows it well. Well, again, we're right in that liminal space, that out of season space, where the old code, it's like they're showing me, the unseen is showing me a computer, like the hard drive, the operating system is being pulled out. And before the new one is put in, boop. And then once you put it in, there's an upload. It's got a, it reboots itself and it says, here's the new. What we want to not do is prevent the new operating system, the new code, the new way. We don't want to override that before it's even had a chance to present itself. We are in this out of season. It's a change of season. The Revolutionary Guards. This guardians and watchmen of divine will on earth. This changing of the guard, changing of seasons. Our human, our mind, is going to search for the way to make what we know work, or work in the moment. What we don't want to do is override or preempt the arrival, the insertion, the receiving of the new code. Because then we're missing out. We're retreating, in a sense, to the old, as opposed to allowing the new to come forward. So now let's move to, and number 3 from the unseen before we go there. Peace is more than a concept. It's spiritual wisdom for the soul. It's nourishment. So peace is more than a concept. It's spiritual wisdom. So when we operate, when we stay in a state of grace, of peace, of allowing, of going as guided, it's more than some external concept, or because we want peace internally. It can be about mental peace, emotional peace, spiritual peace, relational peace, world peace. But it's not something outside of us, and it's not something that is simply a concept. It's spiritual wisdom for the soul. It's nourishment for the soul. Peace. When we're in a state of grace, peace, we can hear. We can go as guided. We can take the next step. We can do so with joy. We might have, anxiety, trepidation, fear, but it doesn't mean that we can't do it from a state of joy, peace. So now let's look to our key word. And our key word is purpose. And so we have the definition of purpose. The reason for which something exists is done or is used or created. An intended aim, goal, or result. A settled, firm intention or determination behind actions. A personally meaningful, long-term goal that provides direction. So what is our purpose? What did we come here for at this moment? What are we to do? And many are struggling at this time with what's my purpose, because everything's changing. Everything we've known is changing. The operating system is changing. The guard is changing. The season is changing. And so with that means that our purpose will change. It will evolve, or it will be, or our highest purpose will be revealed to us. There's an excerpt here from the Activation Sequence Retreat by Richard Rudd from the Gene Keys. And it's the song of your life. What if purpose isn't found, but remembered? Here, Richard Rudd reframes purpose as something you don't chase or figure out, but something you walk into, a song line already present in your life. Rather than striving for answers, it's about slowing down, creating space, and allowing clarity to emerge naturally. It's about aligning with your highest octave, your divine, your divinity, your soul, and its purpose. Thereby, we're not chasing something. We're not looking for it to arrive. It's already a part of us. It's already there. It's a song line already present in your life. Rather than striving for answers, it's about slowing down, creating space, and allowing clarity to emerge organically, naturally. The knowing will come. The purpose will reveal itself. Number 4 from the unseen, and I'm going to go to the second part of purpose, is they said, I heard the lyrics ease on down the road, or move on down the road. It's by Diana Ross from The Wiz. And so this ease on down the road, the gold lies within. And it's quote number 2, and I'm going to go back to purpose. Why are you so enchanted by this world when a mine of gold lies within you? This is by Rumi. So why are you so enchanted by the world when a mine of gold lies within you? It's not about striving for answers or looking outside of ourselves for our divine purpose. It's a songline already present in your life. And so now let's look at the spiritual meaning of purpose. Spiritual purpose is the inner compass guiding you toward a life of meaning, authenticity, and connection to a higher power or universal consciousness rather than material success. It involves cultivating love, compassion, and serving others. To give is to receive, while aligning daily actions with core values such as mindfulness, growth, and contributing to the greater good. It's about a journey toward finding your true self and inner peace. It's establishing a connection with the divine or source and serving others with love and compassion. Remember, in the Aquarian matriarchal We the People era, where the soul leads, it is about what we do in life is for the goodness of all, a tide lifts all boats. And then in reciprocity, we receive. It's a complete inverse of where we've been. So it's about finding your truer self in your inner peace. It's establishing a connection with the divine. It's recognizing the sacred in everyday moments, not just achieving a grand destiny. In the simplest act or things, a blade of grass, a cloud in the sky. It's about achieving these everyday moments, these sacred everyday moments, bearing witness to them, allowing them to permeate you, to enter. It's about leaving a positive impact on the world, often viewed as bringing heaven on earth. This is how it arrives. If you build it, he will come. We're to build heaven on earth. Right now, we're destroying it. So we have a choice. Align with the new octave, align with the new energies. That is a fait accompli. That is a done deal. However, what isn't a done deal is your sovereign, your divine will, your free will to choose how you will experience this next octave. So you can experience it by choice in an elevated, unified, in the flow manner, or thriving and thrashing and wailing against it. That's choice. That's up to you. That it's happening, that it will occur, that it is a fait accompli, a done deal. So where we have this beautiful meaning of spiritual meaning of purpose, it's about aligning with it. It's about how we move into oneness, into unity, into peace. Peace is more than a concept. It's spiritual wisdom for the soul. One would say it's spiritual wisdom from the soul. So to give is to receive. Well, they're giving it. Wouldn't it be lovely for them, the unseen, to receive it, your soul to receive it in reciprocity? Because it's nourishment. It's a two-way street. It's the infinity symbol. It's a two-way street in how this works. Welcome, Olivia. And they took me somewhere and then I forgot. So let me jump in here again. Because on the ease on down the road, the gold lies within. Because again, it's never external, it's internal. So the phrase "the gold lies within," often attributed to the 13th century poet Rumi, is a profound spiritual metaphor emphasizing that true fulfillment, wisdom, and value are found within the self, not in external material wealth or validation. We've talked about this a lot. It's not all the masks, the identities, the labels, the stories, the scripts, the titles, the possession. It has nothing to do with that. It's about true fulfillment, wisdom, and value are found within the self. It encourages individuals to stop searching externally for love, happiness, or approval, and instead look inward, where they will find their inherent divine worth and untapped potential. It's true that, it's a cliche phrase that gets, passed around and bantered around about, love yourself. Do you love yourself? But that's the truth of it. The truth is, do you love yourself? And if you don't, why? Ask yourself why. You're perfect, you're whole, you're complete, you're sovereign, you're divine, just as you are. So allow the residue, the goo, the things, the life experiences that have dulled that light, the purity of that goodness, allow it to fall away. To do that, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you are worthy of being loved. And in order to do that with confidence and clarity and purpose, you have to believe it yourself first. Then it's just self-evident to others. It doesn't matter what you have or who you are or what you do in life or any of these things. It doesn't matter. I am. It is our mantra. I am. It is a powerful, powerful, powerful mantra. In the beginning was the word. I am. I am that I am. It was in the show last week. Well, once you recognize I am, it's a statement of divinity. It's a statement of the divine. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So anything less than that needs to be released. Let it go, because it's prohibiting you from rising, from upreaching, from loving in a pure way, first yourself and then others. Colleen is saying it seems to be the collective wants to move on from this absolute chaos. Even King Charles said enough in so many words. Yes, and so here again, I mean, here the sovereign of Great Britain is in the United States, and recognizing that even kings, by right with the Magna Carta, there are limitations. Why are there limitations? Because we are responsible for each other. We are responsible to ensure that our actions are aligned, pure, in the goodness of and the betterment of the whole, not just one individual or party or person or, thing. And thereby, again, this is where the shadow has come in. Everything's purposeful. However, this is now about, Revolutionary Guard. The old guard steps down, makes way for the new. They're talking about that. So as above, so below. This is a divine statement. This is the unseen, the above, saying, we're etch-a-sketching the field. We're deconstructing the past because the new is present. It's upon us. It's here. Now, how we do that individually and collectively is up to us. Choose to do so, ease on down the road. The gold lies within. And they said, you're never lost as you're always somewhere. So where we are in this moment, you can ask yourself at any given time, where am I? and you'll hear an answer. What do I need to do? And take the step. Or it may be the inaction of something. Wait. As I shared with you all, that same thing, that message of wait. And so I'm waiting, I'm listening, I'm waiting. And more so than awaiting, it's awaiting. You're awaiting the next octave. It's that new operating system that gets plugged in, and that you have to fight your ego, mind, personality, human, to not preempt it or override it before it's began. Because then you're stuck, stagnant, you're in the old. You want to be in the new. And yes, it will take patience, fortitude, grace. Let's go to that one. It's number 5, denotes change from the unseen. The best is yet to come, to arrive. Patience, anyone? Question mark. The best is yet to come, to arrive. Patience, anyone? Because again, we don't want to preempt our greatness. We don't want to, quit before the new arrives. We want to up level. And so we need to be in divine alignment with it. Where are we? There we are. Okay, sorry. And I want to go back to, we're bouncing all over. There's a lot of energy here. Mercury involved, Uranus in Gemini. I'm a Gemini rising. There's a lot going on. So thank you for bearing with me as I'm bouncing around here. It was, in fact, quote number 1. And it's down here with unfoldment. So spirit and service is number 6. Unfoldment. Your divine essence and purpose revealed, made manifest. And so we have this beautiful quote, who you are is an unfolding narrative. And this is by Stephen Batchelor. So who you are is an unfolding narrative. Allow the narrative to unfold. Because the unseen is saying unfoldment. And this beauty about how everything is constantly unfolding, changing, unfolding. And unfoldment is the noun form of unfold, representing the act, process, or state of developing, evolving, or revealing something gradually. It signifies a slow, natural maturation, often likened to a flower blooming, May flowers. Things bloom when, where you least expect it. So often likened to a flower blooming, where potential is revealed or made manifest over time, particularly regarding personal, spiritual, or intellectual growth. This unfolding has been 2,000 plus years. This didn't happen, in the twinkling of an eye. It happened over 2,000 plus years for us to get to this place, this point. So it's unfoldment, your divine essence, purpose revealed, made manifest. And then the unseen said, sign, sealed, delivered. It's a fait accompli. So this new code, this new operating system, the new guard, this energetic, this new season, everything is unfolding our divine essence and purpose. It's not about our human wants to go running back, wants to make sense of it all, wants to cling on to something that makes sense. And yet the unseen and the future, the present future, is saying, but it's not that. It's this, it's over here. We're in that liminal space right between the two things. The old operating system, the cartridge is being ejected, removed. The new one is going to be inserted. It's got to upload. It's got to reboot. And then it goes, boop, okay. And then here's my divine essence and purpose. Here's what my soul came to do. And it's fully aligned with everything, with everyone. What's meant to be will be. So we want to do our best in this moment to not preempt or override the system. That's important. because it is signed, sealed, delivered. It's a done deal. And of course, the song is I'm yours. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. The unseen is saying, I'm yours. I am. I'm you, you're me. I am. I'm yours. We're in this together. We're doing this together. So, patience, anyone? Have patience. I'm walking the walk. I'm walking the talk. I'm right there with all of you. 7 from the unseen. They said tangible assets. Oh, the games, the tricks your mind can play on you. It's about what you believe you have versus what you don't. And it's all about perception. And it's quote number 1, which is this beautiful, your greatest journey is the journey of self-discovery. It's a fortune cookie. Your greatest journey is the journey of self-discovery. This is about what lies before us. So this tangible assets, oh, the games, the tricks your mind can play on you. See, it's not about what we have that matters, or what we believe we have, or what we believe we don't have. That's all external. That's material items. But when all of that's stripped away, who are you? What remains? What goes from rags to riches to rags to riches? You, who you are at your center, your soul, your divine essence. That's what matters. And so how we manage this time is a very important process, choice. And so I think that's everything. There's so much in this episode, and I apologize for being a little fragmented with it. There is a lot here that's speaking to this massive change. And again, we're Gene Key 27, and we're all walking this unfolding, beautiful path, but it's a golden path. We're not lost. We're not, cast aside. We're walking a beautiful, gold-veined, lined path. The gold lies within. The soul knows where we're going. We, the human, we just need to align with it, to allow it, to surrender to it, to trust it, to have faith that it is going to deliver us exactly where we need to be in the octave, in this new octave of who we are. And I just want to, Gene Key 27 is food of the gods. And it goes from selfishness, altruism, selflessness. This week we enter the field of selflessness through Gene Key 27. How do we drop, quote, the self? What indeed is the self? Contemplate these questions this week, and you may have a taste of the field that lies behind our version of reality. This is Asperger syndrome, a direct connection to the divine. When we contemplate these questions, we may have a taste of the field. These individuals are connected to a field that lies beyond our version of reality. It's a direct connection to the divine. It's pure. They can see things that we may not be able to. And the purity of that connection, the auras, the energies, the fields that lie beyond what are human veils. Well, what happens when we lift that veil? And this is the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. The mathematics of love are built into the structure of all life. But only when we discover these laws will human beings realize their highest potential. Inherent in the 27th city is the realization of the divine law of philanthropy, the love of humanity. It's the love of self. The love of self. Divine love, pure love. Philanthropy unlocks the secret of free energy because it gives selflessly of itself, and it gives intelligently. To give without awareness is charity. But to give with awareness is philanthropy. This is this higher octave love. It's not a cliche. It's just like peace. It's more than a concept. And so this is moving us into a state of divine law of philanthropy, the love of humanity. And when we love ourselves, Mother Earth, ourselves, the whole of the whole, in such a pure way, it's altruism at its highest, its best. That's where we are. So let's see Mayflowers, things bloom when, where you least expect it. Uranus and Gemini. Expect, what is it? Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I think, is expect a lot of unexpected events, communications, twists and turns. Don't override or preempt the system, the upgrade, the new operating system. Really catch yourself and stop yourself if that's what you're doing. Allow it to come online. And then there's healing involved here. Mercury, how we think, communicate, interact with Chiron. So deep healing with this full moon in Scorpio. Be kind, be gentle, go with the flow, and we will see you next week.